Everyone, how you doing? Jeff C here. It is Saturday, October the 25th. The Ebola saga continues, as we all know it would, and they'll keep bleeding this thing out as long as they can. Who knows where it's going to end? Forced vaccinations, mandatory vaccinations. It's something we've always speculated that they were heading towards. Now, one of my big things on this has been pointing out all the green programming. It just doesn't go away. In fact, it just gets more and more. Every day people are sending me stuff, every single day, and I'm just astounded. Almost every news programmer wears the Ebola green, everybody being interviewed, every person that gets Ebola wears the green as well. It's how they mind control you. So somebody sent me this link today, and I'm sorry I lost your message. I can't remember who you are, but this is the New York Daily News here. And exclusive, city health officials desperately search for experimental drug to use on Ebola patient Craig Spencer, this doctor now who has Ebola in New York. Hours after Craig Spencer was admitted to Bellevue Hospital, the city health department sent out an email to area hospitals, researchers, and pharmacies for an experimental drug that was successfully treated. NBC News cameraman Ashoka Mukpo, right? Another bullshit, 100% total farce. It is unclear if officials were able to obtain the Brincidofovir after the email was sent out Thursday night. I mean, they've really got people so dumb. I mean, people have become so dumb that I don't even know what to say. I really don't even know what to say. I just can't believe this, okay? So first they run out of, what was it, ZMapp, right? ZMapp. Oh, we've got this wonderful stuff. It's called ZMapp, right? All right. So ZMapp, and then they decided, well, they were going to give the ZMapp to Nancy Wright Ebola. And then they figured, well, no, we'll give her stash to Dr. Kent Brantley, and then he got better real quick. Go figure. And then they gave the ZMapp to, of course, Nancy Wright Ebola, and she had a bit of a rougher ride, but she eventually came around, as we know she would, and sported the green, of course, and all that. But then they ran out of it. I mean, they ran out of it. It was all gone after that. I mean, they only made enough for 2 people, so then they went to Brincidofovir, which I've covered before in other videos, right? From Chimerix, right? A good satanic pharmaceutical corporation full of Illuminati symbols and everything else, right? You know they are looking out for the worst interest of humanity, these pharmaceutical corporations that, don't they just love to think about population control? So 5 hours after Ebola-stricken Craig Spencer was hauled into Bellevue's quarantine unit, the city health department sent a frantic email marked urgent. It's urgent. It's frantic. It's email. It's urgent, asking if New York area hospitals, researchers, and pharmacies had an experimental drug that has shown promise against the deadly virus. Now, I went into the whole Brincidofovir and how they had that, what was it, for Jake or Joey? I couldn't even remember. They had a whole psyop a few months back where they put the name all over the news and, Fox News, ABC, all covering it. Brincidofovir. Now, of course, making the rounds again. Go fucking figure. It's not clear if the antiviral drug Brincidofovir ever made it to Bellevue or if it was administered to Spencer, but the hunt was on Thursday night. You got to be as dumb can be to actually read this kind of shit and believe it. And of course, they're going to have nothing but green programming everywhere. Everywhere. That's how they do it, folks. They always got a black guy in a green shirt or a white person in a green shirt. It's how they convince you that this thing is actually happening. Now, the drug would presumably be under the jurisdiction of your investigative or investigational drug or research area, the 620 email obtained from the Daily News read. If you do have this drug, please contact Dr. Scott Harper at the DOHMH as soon as possible. Harper, not to be confused with our dear scumbag lying psychopathic leader, Stephen Harper of Canada, an infectious disease specialist, is a CDC epidemiology field officer for the city health department. The missive contained his cell number and email address. So officials declined to comment on the email request or say whether it's evidence of a lapse in the securities or the city's preparedness to battle Ebola. the hard-to-pronounce drug Brincidofovir, it's actually not that hard to pronounce, but of course I've covered this before, has been the go-to drug for a handful of Ebola patients. It was used successfully to treat Nancy Snyderman's NBC cameraman Ashoka Mukpo. Yeah, Mukpo. Yeah, we really believe that. Of course, the guy's got to have an African name to convince you, right? That's how they do it, folks. It's all fucking make-believe. That's all it is, folks. It's just make-believe. At the University of Nebraska Medical Center, it was then used to treat Thomas Duncan, the Liberian, but of course he's African and he died. And a spokesman for Chimerix, the North American Satanic Corporation that makes the drug, declined to say whether Spencer's doctors at Bellevue made the same request of the company. And in order to get the drug, in order to get access to the experimental drug that has not yet been approved by the Food and Drug Administration, don't worry, Monsanto will approve it soon enough, a treating doctor or hospital must apply for or to the FDA for consent under expanded or compassionate use, right? It wasn't clear Friday why the city made the unorthodox request of local hospitals asking if they had any drug to spare, since the city would have to go through the formal FDA approval process for the drug, nor would city officials say whether they have asked the FDA for special consent use of the drug. Neither the company nor city health officials nor Greater New York Hospital Association, which sent out the blast email to its members on behalf of the health department Thursday night, would comment. And all I can say is about the request, the process is, what is this quote here? All I can tell you about the process that the request would go from treating the doctor or hospital to the FDA, said the Chimerix spokesman Joseph Scheppers. The company would always be the one to provide the drug and not the hospitals. There are no approved treatments for Ebola. What had been considered the most promising experimental drug, ZMapp, ran out after only 7 patients used it. Yeah, they only made a couple vials, right? I mean, that's how it works, right? So now we can go to the green programming, right? And here is your Dr. Craig Spencer, and wouldn't you know it, Yep. He's wearing the green, folks. You know it. You just know it. He's got to wear the green. He's got to be having the green in every picture, right? Yep. There you go. The green. It's just unbelievable how obvious these hoaxes are. It's unbelievable how they program people over and over and over again. And what are we going to do, folks? I mean, the news is fiction. The alternative media is garbage for the most part, especially InfoWars, who have been pushing this Ebola psyop heavier than anyone else out there, including the Freemason-run Vice News with the half-a-billionaire Shane Smith, a scumbag of the highest order. Yeah, they've been manipulating everyone, and it's so obvious. If only you could just critically look at articles, you could just critically find out what are the odds that an article about an Ebola patient would have, 4 pictures of him, and in 3 of those he's wearing the Ebola green color. I don't know. It's pretty slim, I'd say. Right? But that's how it's done, folks. That's why there's always got to be someone in the green. Always. That's how they do it. They're programming you over and over and over again. And there's no way they should get away with this, but since they control everything, I guess it's pretty hard for us to do anything other than make videos that'll probably get pulled down and censored and whatever else. But this is what they're doing to you, folks. If you believe in this Ebola whole thing, there's not much I can do for you. Because it's so bloody obvious that it's fake. It's so bloody obvious that they can't even hide their glee. When these 2 women wore the same, the Republican and the Democrat wore the same color shirt, they were just giggling away before they came on. They could barely hold their glee in to carry out their interview with Greg Gutsmell here. They're all in it. It doesn't matter if it's PBS or CNN or Fox, the O'Reilly Factor, or it's in Liberia, right? It don't matter, folks. It's there. It's there to control you. And they are going to continue this psyop to convince you, of course, and your family to take whatever to your health. So thanks for listening, folks. Please, if you have more information or comments, leave it below, and I wish you all the very best.